Here we go. Julie, thank you so much. We've pressed record. And the conversation that we're having today is, are the steps that we're taking, or is the plan that we're starting to build up, this pyramid that we're starting to build up, is it producing weight loss? So we kind of need to do an audit of where we are, what's true, what's working, and then we can take a look at your nutrition and see how everything lines up. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We did this before, the methodology. What are we trying to achieve? We want to learn how to lose this weight. We want to learn how to keep it off, especially if you lost weight before and you gained it back. Our approach is holistic, it's systematic, and it's graduated, which is why we have these steps of the pyramid that we'll talk about. And our main objective is to learn how to keep the goal by adhering to your plan. This plan can go as fast or as slowly as is managed by your adherence. So today we'll take a look at, how am I adhering to the beginner's pyramid? Okay. Step one, the beginner's diet. Whenever we start our conversations, what are the things that I'm asking you to keep true as we build in these habits in order of importance? You eat protein, veggies, fruit, whole starch, nuts and seeds. You drink black tea, black coffee, and water. You are not consuming very much dairy. You are not consuming very much fried food, and you are not consuming, if at all, any fast food. Your portions are in line with our goals, and you are getting enough sleep. This is the base of our pyramid and the things that we're starting to build upon, okay? So to kind of treat this like week 1 or 2 of trying to build up this base. And if you look at this base, what are the things that you're like, yep, I'm already starting to put those things into implementation, and the things that you're saying like, ooh, I might need to pay a little bit of attention to that.
So are you asking me what I need to? Okay. I am focused on eating more protein, like we've talked about, because I don't get enough protein. So I have been focused on putting that into every meal. Vegetables I'm good on. I always eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of fruit. I would say probably I'm eating a lot of whole starches. I'm probably eating some not whole starches too. Nuts and seeds, that usually comes in the form of like almond milk, because whenever I have a protein shake, it's almond milk. That's pretty much it for the nuts and seeds. I don't object to them. I'm not eating a lot of them. Black tea, I don't drink coffee, but black tea and water, yes. And it's unsweetened black.
Good.
I'm not consuming a lot of dairy because the cheese is a fat. And so I end up having more of that in like olive oil or something like that. But I'm having some dairy, and the dairy I'm getting is more cottage cheese and yogurt, because that goes back to that protein thing. I don't typically eat a lot of fried foods. I have eaten, so we do this thing, my husband and I. It's kind of our treat to go to breakfast at Chick-fil-A. And so probably in the last 2 weeks, I've eaten Chick-fil-A maybe twice. And it's usually the breakfasts, because we go there, we work. But other than that, like, I'm not eating any fast food, at least no fried fast food. If it's might be a taco from a little taco boutique place down the road, even fried. And then, yeah, I'm probably getting enough sleep. And the portion, I mean, I've been tracking all my food, so I'm not sure why I'm not losing.
Hey, this is only the first rung of the pyramid. Let's build the rest of it to start to find some opportunity, okay?
Okay.
Give yourself a check mark for this and give yourself some grace for this. This is a wonderful start, okay? So when we're doing a self-audit, it's okay to say, no, coach, I'm doing that, and feel good about that, all right? This is great. Keep it up. Keep doing it. You're doing great, okay? 6,000 steps a day. We can give yourself a check mark for that. You're already doing that, right? Perfect.
Yep.
Consuming enough protein and resistance training with our chosen frequency. So we talked about that before we started pressing record today, that we're working on our resistance training schedule to make sure that we're resistance training with enough frequency to get what we need. And we'll take a look at your nutrition today to make sure that we're getting enough protein. But we've worked on that over the past couple of weeks. So we should start feeling a little bit better about increasing the amount of protein that you're consuming, right? So, good. Okay. What
Do
we
I
might have an opportunity. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Do I have a goal with the protein? Like you said,
Yes.
eating protein at every meal. So I've been eating protein at every meal. Is there a certain number that I'm trying to hit with the protein?
Beautiful question. Now, yes. So
Okay.
we start with eat more protein, eat vegetables, eat fruit, cut back on the extra fats, the fried foods and that type of stuff, cut back on the liquid calories, get enough sleep, and control your portions. Then we start to care about, are you having enough of the things that are going to make a difference, namely protein, specifically for your resistance training. And then that builds into, am I consuming enough of each macronutrient category, protein, carbs, and fats, to one, pursue and support my health, but then two, to also pursue and support fat loss. Okay. So this is where we are, right? We're building up this beginner's pyramid, but now we start to take an account of what are the manipulations that I need to make to ensure that I'm eating the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats, right?
Mhm.
And that I'm eating frequently enough to support those things, right?
Mhm.
And then coming up next, micronutrients, fiber, and total daily calories, right? So what you might find is we kind of do both of these at the same, we might intermingle these two things, okay?
Okay.
But both of these are pretty important, but this stuff is more important, okay?
Okay.
All of this supported by accountability and support from your coach, right? Direction, accountability, and support, okay? And
Mhm.
then accountability and support from you for adherence purposes. You mentioned my husband and I, twice a week, we go to Chick-fil-A, we have breakfast or something like that. That's an extrinsic reward. If you
Mhm.
connect that to, I got my steps every day this week, or I completed my workouts every day that I had them scheduled this week. And now as a result, I'm going to go have this. You put the thing that you need to do in front of the thing that you want to do.
Okay.
Right. And that's an extrinsic reward, so that now this thing that you do is now something special because you did the thing that you need to do. Okay. Extrinsic rewards.
Okay.
Intrinsic rewards are more so how you feel about yourself as you're doing the things. Right. I'm doing this for a really important reason. I want to get back to how I felt about myself in my 20s. Right. I just want to get back to who I remember I was. And I kind of lost myself over the last couple of decades. I want to get back to that person. And when I
Mhm.
keep my word to myself, when I schedule the workout and I get it done, feel better about myself. Okay. Intrinsic rewards. All right. Anything that I'm missing from this beginner's diet?
I don't well, for me, the consistency of the workouts, I'm missing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um you told me not to drink my calories on the weekend. I did really
Mm-hmm.
well with that.
Good job.
I'm having 2 Dr. Peppers a week.
Okay.
Um and so that's less than the 5 because I was having probably one a day. Well, one a day, one every other day. So I feel good about that.
Good.
I think obviously I could just cut them out altogether, which is kind of my goal, is to cut it out completely. Um, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well on the food. It's probably more the movement. It's probably more the movement. And
Gotcha.
then if I'm not getting enough protein, because protein is a struggle for me, but it's gotten easier. And it's
Good.
gotten easier because of the yogurt and the cottage cheese and um, the protein shakes. Because I eat meat. I'm still eating meat,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't eat meat at every meal. Uh, so the dairy's really helped.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Do you
for
mind if
sure.
we take a look at the nutrition first?
Yeah,
And the
that's
reason
fine.
why I really want to zero in on the nutrition is because the movement, especially having a stable step goal every day, which we'll build upon. So say, for example, our stable step goal is 6,000. Maybe in the next couple of weeks be 8,000. Maybe from there we'll do 9 or 10,000, and that'll be the step goal that we keep. That's important for something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I'm going to just draw this bar graph here. This is Julie's total daily energy expenditure. Have we done this before?
No.
Okay. Your total daily energy expenditure is essentially how many calories do you need to perform Julie's functions today? To think, to talk, to sleep, to eat, fill in the blank. All those things require calories. About 60% of your total daily energy expenditure is already determined by your BMR or basal metabolic rate. That is your height, weight, and age. Those things can't really be changed unless we change your weight, which might drop this number maybe about 10%, maybe about every 10 or 20 pounds we lose. Okay. But we're also increasing your basal metabolic rate by gaining muscle. Right. So essentially, let's just think that the BMR is stable at where it is, right? BMR is not going to change, height, weight, age. Okay. From there, we have another maybe 20% of our total daily energy expenditure that comes from non-exercise. Oh, this is ugly. I'm so sorry. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Have you heard of NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis?
Yes.
Beautiful. Yep. So this is just like the activity that you do that's not really intentional activity. For example, I'm talking to you from a standing desk. I can stand on my toes. I can drop down on my feet, right? I'm shifting left to right while I talk to you. I'm kind of getting some unintentional movement simply by standing. You can get unintentional movement doing laundry, walking up the stairs, parking further away. This is where our steps come in. And the steps don't have to be high intensity. I'm so sorry, this is ugly. The steps don't have to be high intensity, right? They still count towards our need. And the more steps we do, the higher our need. Finally, the last kind of most impactful component of our total daily energy expenditure is going to be your thermal effect of food or thermal effect of feeding. Everything that you eat raises your temperature. However, eating protein might double the raising your temperature than eating carbohydrate, which if you simply are raising your metabolism or raising your temperature by eating more protein, you will lose more weight by eating more protein, okay? So the things that have the most impact, basal metabolic rate, which isn't going to change, your steps, which we can always manipulate, and ensuring that we have enough protein are the things that we'll manipulate first, okay? Last little bit here is exercise, activity, thermogenesis, your workouts, okay? The reason why I want to hone in on the nutritional aspect, right, is because this stuff, the exercise aspect, doesn't nearly have as big of an impact of this piece here. Cool. All right, thank you for enduring that with me. Let's take a look at the nutrition, starting with yesterday. All right, bagel thins, some glaze of tomato, and some cottage cheese. Some nuggets with protein. Okay.
Yeah, the nuggets were unintentional. My husband brought them home and I'd already had the protein shake, so then I had the nuggets too.
Got it. Okay. Day before, same idea. Okay. I'm seeing an opportunity.
With the bacon?
Oh, yeah. We can always switch that out. That's definitely something I would recommend. So if you want to get ahead of it, you certainly can switch in the bacon, the pork bacon for turkey bacon.
I could do that.
Okay. The next thing, just over the past few days, is ensuring that we get enough protein, right? Going back to this here, enough protein, making sure that we're getting enough protein at every meal. So at every meal, we want to start getting something like 30 to 40 grams of protein every time you eat. Okay. 30 to 40 grams. And so when you look at your food label, let's just look at food label for turkey slices, right? And ignore this 30, 40 gram here. Okay. Let's look at a food label for turkey slices. When we're looking at this, we want to ensure that every time we have a meal, it contains 30 to 40 grams of protein, as you can see right here on our screen. Can you see this? Is this small?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I can see.
Beautiful. So then if 2 or 3 slices of turkey is going to give me 10 grams of protein, that means I might need to have 9 slices of turkey to get my 30 grams, right? Okay, so you are right to raise an eyebrow. It's like, wow, what? Let's eat 14 scrambled eggs to get no. Oh, here you might have maybe 3 eggs. Breakfast example: 3 eggs, or 2 eggs plus 2 egg whites.
Okay.
And instead of your bacon, right? Because we're about to switch that out. Instead of your bacon, you're going to do turkey bacon, which at 2 slices of turkey bacon, hold on, should be 10 grams of protein. All right. So your 2 eggs is automatically going to give you 14. Your egg whites are automatically going to give you another 10. So we have 10, 20, 34.
Okay.
Okay. That's breakfast.
Okay.
Then let's go to lunch. For lunch, there is no protein, right? So for this lunch, this was the 28th, by the way. What day am I looking at? Okay. For lunch, what you could do here is you could break down some deli slices if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
You can also add some black beans. If you're just like, I don't want to eat meat for this meal. Fine. Black beans. You can add some lentils on top. You can do some white fish like tuna. Oh my gosh, a single tuna packet, and my girl Zeta hipped you to this. A single
Mm-hmm.
tuna packet can be anywhere from like 20 to 30 grams by itself.
Oh, that would be good. I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. A single tuna packet. Okay. And then down here, okay, you had a burger.
Mhm.
Cool. Mostly fat, but definitely high in protein. So that's great. And then
There
you
was
had a
no,
snack on some popcorn.
it was
Say it
just
again.
the lean, it's
Oh,
like the nice.
the lettuce burger. I don't know how y'all do that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I don't need the
I don't
bread.
know how you all eat that. No, thank you. Okay, so for breakfast, right? So we have this kind of bagel thin situation that you do almost every day. What
Mhm.
adjustments can you make to your breakfast to make this a meal that now starts to have 30 grams of protein every meal?
With the turkey bacon, like you said.
Okay.
Trying to see what else I had on there. I do have eggs a lot, but usually it's hard boiled eggs. So
Ah,
if I had 2 hard boiled eggs, how so I know you said 2 eggs isn't enough protein and you need to add the egg whites, but how would I do that? Because I make the hard boiled eggs ahead of time, and then I just put them in the
yeah,
fridge for like 3 days. Like I
sure.
eat over 3 days.
Your shake can also go here
Oh, okay.
for
I hadn't
breakfast with your breakfast, right? You can have your protein shake here.
Okay.
Um, and then you had your Greek yogurt, the Chobani, just top of mind. I think the Chobani is something like 11 grams with the Chobani. So we need to find another, 20 grams somewhere. Okay. This is a great place for your tuna. Easy deli turkey slices. One of the things that I've actually been sharing with my clients as well are these egg bites. They're like egg whites. My eggs are already prepared. These are like very snackable. I actually probably need to go warm some up right now.
Those are good. I've had those.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
they sell them at Costco.
I didn't know they sold them at Costco. They are really good.
Hey. And if you can't find these, veggies made great egg bites are a wonderful snack. Same idea. I believe these are something like 10 or 11 grams of protein. Let me show you the box. I've seen these more places, Target, Walmart type of deal.
I'm glad that I can get like ready-made things because that's I always think I have to make it. I mean, I don't. I don't always make it, but I always feel like I have to make it. So I like that you share some of that, like to look or the meatballs. You talked about those meatballs, which I haven't gotten yet. But I like that
Mm-hmm.
you because that gives me ideas that I don't actually have to prep a lot before I do it.
Listen. I know you don't have time because I don't have time.
Yeah.
I know you don't have time. Okay, so same idea here. Yep, cottage cheese can come in at any time, but I want you to start thinking, okay, label looking, right? Taking my label and doing some math. I want to ensure every meal, eating my 3 or 4 meals a day, has at least 30 grams of protein in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Last thing, I want you to consider your Dr. Pepper. How often do I need to have one? Can I treat this like a reward anchor?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can I treat this like an extrinsic reward for having done something I said I was going to do?
Okay.
And then your meals out too. I know you don't do a whole bunch of fast food, a whole bunch of meals out, but same idea for the Chick-fil-A. If I'm doing Chick-fil-A twice a week with my husband, do I still have room for Taco Bell? Right? I want us to limit that fast food to no more than twice a week. Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. So back to the beginning. Like, coach, not sure what I need to do. Scale's kind of being stubborn with me right now. What can I resolve to make this go right? Right? How
Mhm.
are you feeling about the really quick walkthrough that we just did?
Yeah, I mean, I think the switching the regular bacon for turkey bacon, because I'm still thinking like meat. I have to figure out how to get meat in, and I don't like a lot of pork. And bacon's one of
Mhm.
those pork things that I will eat. But the turkey bacon, I like that just as well. That's not a big deal to switch that out. Um, the I think the Dr. Pepper's fair. I mean, it needs to. I get why that needs to happen. I totally get why that needs to happen. Um, and honestly, you know how I told you before, like I really like that you give me rules because you give me rules, and then I'm like, okay, those are like hard, like they're like hard and fast rules. So I can ask myself, do I really need this? Well, probably not. Or, is there a reason why I'm not having it? And there's a reason why I shouldn't have the Dr. Pepper. Like it makes sense. Um, so definitely those two things. I do think it's going to be challenging for me to get in 30 grams of protein, but I'm paying more
Mhm.
attention to protein. I mean,
That's right.
I wasn't having much meat before at all.
There we go.
So I'm paying a lot more attention to it.
Good.
And the shakes, like I don't have a problem at all with the protein powder. So like if you go back to the diary, there are days or certain days like when I was really busy at work and I would just have a shake because it was easy for me to have that at lunch. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to make any decisions about it. It was just, I was hungry. It gave me something quick and then I moved on. Um,
Really
so
quickly, Julie, I hate to interrupt your thought pattern, but I want to add to that.
Mhm.
You can even, because you're using a protein powder, you can just put 2 scoops into the powder. If 1 scoop is already 20 grams of protein, and you put 2, now you've had 40 grams of protein on accident, right? You didn't even have to think about it.
Mhm.
So that's something to definitely start doing, right? Double scoop your protein shake. It'll definitely buy you some more of that. Okay. And remember this thermic effect of feeding that we're trying to manipulate. Eating protein in and of itself will cause weight loss because it increases your metabolism. So as we focus on making sure that every meal has 30 grams of protein, you will absolutely continue to see changes to your body composition
Okay.
because that's just what happens when we eat something that raises our body temperature. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I could do that because I have been only doing 1 scoop of protein powder. I haven't been doing
Perfect.
more than that.
Yes.
So, and the egg whites, I've eaten egg whites before. That's not a big deal.
Mhm.
That's totally fine. And I like the tuna. So,
There we
and
go.
we keep talking about tuna, and I have tuna over there. It's just during my day, I'm not always thinking about that. So, I actually need to probably pull it out so that I
Yeah.
can make
Just pull
it.
it out. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remake it if you need to, whatever you need to do. Just pull it out, have it ready. That way it's kind of thoughtless when you start to use it. Actually, you're giving me ideas. I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna go make myself some right now. But what I want to do is make sure that this is settled and feeling good.
Mhm.
With that, I'd love to, I know we're supposed to move into our biweekly cadence, but I'd love to just like check in on this. Just
Okay.
make sure like the past week has been okay.
Okay.
How is today's the 31st? How is next Wednesday, the 7th?
Mhm.
I have for a quick check-in, I have 2:15 Eastern, if that can work for you.
Mhm. I can make that work.
Perfect.
That's um but yeah, I mean, I feel like the eating is not like it hasn't been awful. It hasn't been I'm not eating anything I don't enjoy or, don't like.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, I feel like it's just like a step at a time, just
That's
figuring
right.
it a step at a time.
Step at a
So,
time and being patient with yourself. So when you're teaching, right, you have kind of this unit that I'm teaching my third graders multiplication, this unit. But it doesn't make sense to quiz them or hold them accountable to multiplication if I haven't taught them everything they need to know to be successful with it. I think
mhm,
the same thing is true when we weigh in, one, too early, and two, too often. Right now, weighing in is holding you accountable to skills that you haven't fully developed yet. We're building the skills. So after we build the skills, then we hold ourselves accountable with our weigh in, right? Right now, it's just skill building. So even if you gave yourself another week or two of just like not even, don't focus on this, right? And after 2 weeks of focusing on this, then start the feedback loop. Did it work? Okay. Because it
okay,
will. This is fail proof, right? This is science. It's fail proof. Okay.
okay,
Perfect.
okay.
All right. Is that good?
That is good. That is good.
Beautiful.
And you always give me things every time. Every time we talk, I write things down because there's something that and I mean, I've tried different diets and done different things, and some of it's not new and some of it is new. And I write it down because I need to remember it, but also because there's always something in there that I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be focusing on that. Or, oh, that is like the turkey bacon's an easy swap. That's an easy swap. It's just not something I ever think about. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's all good.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we get to do this together.
Yeah.
And like I said, if there's anything that you need in terms of support, thoughts, you can text me anytime. We have our call scheduled for next week, but you can call me anytime. If I'm available to you. Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. You have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye bye.